All right, okay, so approve the board minutes from last time. They are publicly on our webpage, right? Okay. And do we all approve the minutes from last meeting? Everyone who approves, say aye. Aye. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, the other major thing which we talked about last time and we were not able to accomplish, just because we had no quorum present at the time, even though we people were in and out. So we do need to still approve our bylaws, which are completed and are ready to be approved. And I think that we have a quorum here tonight. I'm just
You
trying-
do, even by the old definition.
Perfect. Yes, we did. We did. So we did change the definition a little bit too, of the quorum because we do have some chair positions that are not filled at this time. And so the literal meaning, like everyone that was as a chair. And so now we've switched it to, how do you word it?
Half of the board of directors plus one shall constitute a quorum. And then I just put in language that says, for the avoidance of doubt, to determine membership, a vacant committee chair does not get counted in the quorum.
Yep, vacancies. Yep, shall not include vacancies to determine quorum. So, because finance, Brooke is basically chairing that right now, and then fundraising, we still don't have a chairperson. So, anyway, so the bylaws are going to be put to the website. I don't think you did. You do it?
I may have, and if not, I will do it.
Actually, just put them on there. So I don't.
So I think we should convert that file to PDF, and that's the thing we publish,
Okay,
not the doc version.
got it.
So yeah, it'll be on the website.
Okay,
This evening.
perfect. Whenever we get out of here, that's the first thing we need.
Or you have to convert it to a PDF. Okay.
I can do it.
Okay, so everyone else has had the chance, I mean, the board has had the chance to read the bylaws. Anyone who's asked has had the chance to read the bylaws. So we are going to approve bylaws, and then nice thing is that Ashley is the bylaw election committee chair, so if you ever want to make a change, we can do that. It should be a huge deal. So if we can put in a motion to approve the bylaws tonight, everyone who's in favor, say aye. Aye. Great, that would be our quorum, and we put those into motion now. Okay, the other thing under my report here is, we were issued a check from the Merton Community School District, for old book fair events. And I just wanted to make clear that we did return the check because it was learned sort of fair funds were originally paid to buy, and it was not a PTO run event, so the book fair may have been organized by the PTO, but it wasn't a fundraiser for the PTO. So we did return the check to the school, but moving forward, Ron and I talked, and we are going to, any book fairs organized by the PTO, the funds are going to go into the PTO bank account. So, or however we determine we want to use the funds. So sometimes we can put the funds into Scholastic dollars instead of a cash out option, or Literati dollars, or however that works, but it's gonna be, the PTO is gonna be handling all of that. And then, the other thing on here is just that our next meeting does fall on December, was going to fall on December 13th, which is the intermediate school concert. Band concert, so we are going to change that to Thursday, December 14th instead. I did check, this room is available. So just, if anyone wants to make a note of that, same time, same place, but different date, one day later.
Crystal, why don't we comment about that date, if in fact we do have a snow day? That is our makeup date for whatever concert would be postponed.
Okay,
So,
good to know.
that'd be the only concern about your December one.
Okay.
Again, not gonna-
Yeah, and in that scenario, I mean, let's push it back a little bit. Yeah, I
We
think
can
you
take
came
whatever
in
you
first.
want.
I know, I
You want
can't
us
tell,
to
do
know
you
we're
want
Oh,
it
no,
or
I don't
not?
need a snow day, we don't want a snow day.
See, you were misleading them before with
Nope.
earlier conversation.
We don't need snow on December 11th, 12th, or 13th.
It won't be that much.
Okay, I don't think, the principals are not here tonight, so, we're gonna probably just skip over the principal's report. I don't think there was anything. We did have a meeting with them. I don't think there was anything.
No, the whole point is connecting with the principals on a regular basis and them knowing what we're working on and trying to achieve, and also hearing from them and their needs and their staff needs. So trying to improve that relationship and have kind of that two-way communication. So we're right now we were meeting with Mrs. Kucharski and Mr. Newcomer. It sounds like Dr. LaFleur will join the meetings. I don't know for how long or time span during our hour-long meeting. It sounds like he may only be part of the meeting for a little bit, but either way, it'll be a good touch point for all of us to know what's happening.
Treasurer's report.
All right, so as of 10/31, our bank balance was 7,845. However, if we account for the check returning back to the school district, our balance going forward is $4,359. That also includes about $1,000 withdrawal for the boat fare register, so that will come back into our funds probably next week once we close that out. We had pretty minor expenses in October. We had the parent-teacher conferences. That total expense of $260 was offset by some donations we received via PayPal. We donated $100 to the fall festival for prizes, and then we had some small minor expenses for Will Mustang prizes and supplies for storage bins. Upcoming, we will be having winning class will receive the food for the food drive. We'll get donuts for their classroom, so we'll have 2 of those. Staff. Sorry, thank you. So that is treasurer's report. Any questions on this handout? Should I jump right into finance committee?
Yep.
So we had our first finance committee meeting on Monday. Not gonna lie, there wasn't too much attendance there, but it was a very good discussion. Melissa joined us. She was the old PTO treasurer, and she just kind of gave us a lot of background on some of the items that they ran as far as like staff and student grants, timing of those. So historically, staff grants have happened in November, so that those items can be purchased in December and then provided to staff beginning of the year. Since we are kind of low on funds right now, we would like to hold off on doing grants until after our major fundraiser. Student grants happen in the spring, so hopefully that timing works out to be the same as previous years. Arrowhead scholarships is another item we talked about, so we're going to work with the Arrowhead Scholarship Fund to determine what that looks like for this year. That will be another kind of post fundraising activity when we determine how much we want to provide to that scholarship fund for merit students. Other things we talked about were Praise Right. We had a conversation previously about this, and we chose to pause on that program because we didn't really have a lead for organizing that. So we just got some more information out of Melissa and what she's done in the past. So that's still out there, it's still on pause, but something we'll continue to kind of discuss if that's something we want to pull into our fundraising. We also talked about different like policies we want to have going forward. We talked about this a little last meeting and creating a savings policy. And that really is to help with the next school year and any major expenses that come up in the first couple of months before we have a major fundraiser. So we're in a better position to do some of those items going forward. So that will be something we'll be talking about is what does that saving policy look like? Is it a percentage of each time we do a fundraiser? Or do we analyze how much money we spend at the beginning of the year through December? And hey, that's the amount of money we want to carry forward for each year. So that will be coming up shortly, looking into that. Other policies we have, I wrote a reimbursement policy that's out there. So anytime someone spends any money to support the PTO out of their personal funds, we have a form of policy to follow and a form to fill out to get reimbursed. There is a debit card policy, which Crystal and I have those debit cards, and that's really just making sure, hey, this is what we're spending the debit card on, and this is when we can't spend the debit card and really what that looks like. The other thing going forward, we're gonna, talk about an accounting software. Once we kind of have a more understanding on our fundraiser and what that looks like, I really want to dive into what is going to make sense for us going forward. A lot of the accounting software are going to be an annual expense, so I want to make sure we're all comfortable with that. What did I miss here? Man, taxes, that's another thing that we really need to find someone with tax experience. This year they've been filed, so we're good until next school year, but that's something that we'll want to take someone sooner rather than later that will be able to help us with that.
All right, events committee, Mary is not here, but maybe everyone can kind of fill in some gaps because there's some stuff I do and don't know. The committee meeting, we already had talked about that at our last meeting actually, but that's what brought us to some of these next things. So they had a committee meeting September 26th, which ended up bringing about the Mustang event, which some of us participated in. There was a lot of success in the event. There was good positive feedback. There was some really funny things that happened, at least on my end, where we thought we were like dinged up to chase someone's house because my daughter wanted to do all of the dropping off, and so she dropped the bag off and rang the doorbell and ran away, and the person came out and saw the van, and I'm like, I don't know, what do we do? But anyway, I made sure that they knew that their boo bag was there, that, we weren't dinged off. But there was a lot of good feedback. It was a very easy event to run, I think, on our end, because it was really just setting up the form. Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, because you did the form.
Mary did the form.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, okay, well, Mary's not here, so it was really easy.
Yep.
No, I think that it actually was pretty easy. I don't know. I think the only, there wasn't even negative feedback, but the other feedback that we got was including the children's ages. So, because you could have an intermediate student versus primary. I mean, if the kids are in K4 and K5. Some people wrote it and some people didn't, but there wasn't an actual spot to put it at. I wrote a ton of stuff about how to find my house because the driveway is so long. So my line was this big, but yes, it was sort of a free-for-all, whatever you wanted to include. Anyway, so I think that might be something that we revisit next time or next year. There is a gingerbread house event coming up in December. Kristen Barth, one of the teachers at the primary school, is co-chairing the event. Katie, probably you know more about.
Yeah, so they're doing something different. It'll be like a combo event where you can pick up your kits here at the school or participate in like a gingerbread making contest like at school in the cafeteria. So either way, it's a contest and there's some parameters to follow, but that's going live very soon, and so we're gonna be taking orders. It's not, again, not meant to be a fundraiser. We're charging the amount to cover the cost of the commercially produced kits is something we're advertising this year. But in the end, it's just something to promote a sense of community and something fun for the kids to do either at home or in a group in a social setting. So more information coming soon.
One thing we might think about doing, if it made sense, I don't know, those commercial kits, I think that West had this experience, that there's never enough frosting, and then the kids can't do anything that looks good.
Yeah.
So I found a recipe last year, and I'm assuming a lot of people have done this, but like to make extra at home, so maybe we could include that with like a Facebook
Well, that's
post.
a good idea.
If you're interested, here's what you need, and how to do it, it's pretty simple.
Okay.
Otherwise, my kids said they were so hard, so.
We need to have sufficient mortar for
Yes,
these
exactly.
houses.
Right.
I understand.
Did we actually find a kit though? Because Mary said that the one that she wanted weren't available.
Oh,
Yeah.
the most recent contact I saw was that we were moving forward with whatever plan that they had.
Okay.
So we'll double check on that. It's scheduled to go live soon. So hopefully we'll square that away and make sure that we have their information correct.
Yeah, I know they wanted to go with a kit versus like us or whoever having to buy every piece of
Yeah.
stuff and assemble it into bags and all of that. So, yeah, and I think there's gonna be, we can add some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so I
So-
think she's gonna offer the option so that they're not all identical in the result. That you can add some embellishments of your own, so long as they're edible is the criteria. So, that is to be determined again on the final rules and how that's gonna logistically play out. I do know Mrs. Iwanski, I'm gonna call her Mrs. Iwanski forever, just because it's my thing. She was looking for some volunteers to help assemble the bags and possibly at the Saturday event of actually coordinating the. She found people?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So anyway, just be on the lookout for other opportunities through the events and soon fundraising, right, Crystal?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then she has some other events listed here, so, and that she's looking for people to chair these things. So the way that the events committee works, if you guys aren't already familiar, or what we're kind of hoping how it works, is that Mary isn't doing every part of this. So like she did the Blue Mustang, but that was pretty hands-off. Gingerbread House, you know, Kristen Barth is co-chairing. What she's looking for is people to co-chair many things because, as you can imagine, she's a very busy person, so she's trying to, you know, see if people want to take something and roll with it. So underneath these events that she can hopefully find a chair for, we're looking for someone to host. So this is probably may change, but we're looking for someone to host an event in conjunction with our major fundraiser that we're planning to do, which is called Raise Craze. It is a fundraiser based on performing acts of kindness. So, I mean, the fundraiser itself is reaching out and asking your family to donate money to the school, but you don't have to buy a pizza or you don't have to run laps. It's giving back to the community. So that's what you're doing. Accepting their donations, you're giving back to the community in some way. And so originally we were going to try to launch this fundraiser very soon, but
Next week.
yeah, we originally had a plan to do this to start it on World Kindness Day, which is November 13th. And so I think this event was supposed to run in line with that date. But it's not to say that we don't still need somebody to run an event in conjunction with Raise Craze, because the whole purpose of Raise Craze is to have events like this available for the community to participate in as we take the fundraiser. That makes sense. So anyway, that would be maybe a place for somebody to get involved in a fundraising meeting, which we have a specific Raise Craze meeting coming up tomorrow in the evening, 7:30 to 8:30, 7:30 to 8:30. Otherwise, you can reach out to me, or, well, I can't say anyone else right now, but reach out to me if you're interested in sharing, reach out to me or Mary if you're interested in sharing the kindness event in conjunction with Raise Grace. He's also looking for a chair to assist with a wellness seminar for parents with activities for kids. So she's looking for someone to research this and see if there's someone that wants to come in and give information to parents where the kids will be occupied at the same time. If that makes.
Can I interrupt?
Yes, please do. Is it that?
To the person who may or may not be interested in taking this job, we have a list of ideas of people to reach out to. It's just we're looking, the whole point of how we're strategizing this PTO is to allow lots of people to help in lots of ways. So we've got the list, we're looking for somebody to say, yeah, I would be willing to make some phone calls and schedule that person to come in, and then you can build a team to help figure out how to keep the kids entertained. And again, it's a group effort, but we're looking for any of these projects to have a person to say, like, okay, I can lead that. And we are all behind you, and like we have resources and information to share. So not to sound overwhelming, because I feel like it sounds like that it's way more work than it actually is. We've got resources available. We're just looking to have somebody kind of take the lead on it. Dr. Russ, you want to be the lead?
I can assist with the childcare part though.
Okay.
From a standpoint of National Honor Society, State
Yeah.
Senate, those are all, that's who we lean on for our staff childcare, and we just kind of get that out to us. So,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, this is also new to me. This Spread the Love event is similar to Blue Mustang. I would assume going to be happening around Valentine's Day, which, by the way, I think one of our PTO meetings is on. So that's a little thing. Anyway, so Mary's looking for a chair for that as well.
No, she's got one.
Oh, she has one. Yes, she has a chair.
She had,
but she's not telling us who it is.
I know who it is, but I'm not gonna make an announcement if it's not posted. This individual is a person who is a parent and a staff member and was very excited about the Blue Mustang. Her kids were real amped up about it, and so she said she would be happy to take on a project like that because I, of course, promoted it as so simple to manage, which it really was very simple to manage. So she is happy to take that on, but that'll be coming soon.
Cool.
It's a secret.
I know, that's what I'm getting 20 questions. So, okay, they have kids. Which school? What, primary or intermediate?
Oh,
That should be easier then.
Well, okay,
Ron already knows
fine.
who it is.
I know it with that clue.
Okay, fine. But I'm not telling.
Okay,
It's not my job to tell.
good. Just stay after the meeting, I won't tell you guys. Okay, so see what you miss if you don't come to the meeting, so you don't miss these. Okay, fundraising committee report. Okay. On Tuesday, October 24th, we had a committee meeting. It was virtual. It was really primarily me discussing the huge undertaking that I learned that the Raise Grace fundraiser was presenting, and that our initial timeline, unfortunately, would need to be pushed back to make sure that we could be successful in disseminating the info and successful in our fundraiser. And since then, we've determined that it's going to be an all hands on deck kind of fundraiser. We can't just have the fundraising committee specific working on it. It needs to be the whole PTO needs to be working on it. Because it does, you know, if you're running events or you need to purchase certain items, everybody's gonna be involved regardless. So, oh, right there, see, next meeting for that is November 9th, 7:30 to 8:30. We do have a potential lead or co-chair for the event. Her name is Barbara. She seems interested. I did send her a bunch of information yesterday and today in regards to Raise Craze. And then, did you do the webinar? So Brooke and I both did the Raise Craze webinar today as well. So there's no solid date set or anything yet. It's mostly a discussion tomorrow about what people can handle, like what tasks can we give to people to do, and potential dates that we're looking at. And that's something that we need to talk to the staff about as well, to make sure that it's not overlapping with anything major.
Can I add something about the Raise Craze? So
It's your words.
the Raise Craze, our Raise Craze. So this is an event that we're basically a portion of our proceeds will go back to them. That's how they make money, right? But they send us this kit and everything's outlined as far as to-dos and like the timeline, and they send us the marketing material. So we basically have an exact to-do list.
Got it.
Yep, we've got everything outlined. We're hoping Barbara,
It's out. 1 week.
yeah, so when we talked about this 2 weeks ago, it was like, well, this is not enough time to give this, just, do a good job with this.
Yeah.
So we're
I was
hoping,
like, hey guys, here's all the things we need to do in 2 weeks.
it was not gonna happen. So hopefully Barbara will be agreeable to taking the lead. However, again, prefacing, I'm talking to all of you. This is a job for everyone to take a little piece of, and hopefully we can tag team and get this job done. So Barbara, who has not ever attended a PTO meeting to this point, is interested in kind of being the lead on this and driving the bus, as I've been telling her.
Yeah.
But the rest of us all chiming in and helping wherever we can. And so with that, like the marketing side of things, there's templates and everything that we've already got, so we'll just kind of fine tune that to be Merton specific. So hopefully, if we follow the guidelines and the step-by-step that they've literally outlined for us, it should come together so smoothly. And we just wanted to make sure we had enough time to do it properly.
Yeah.
Because we know that if we rushed through, it would be a very poor job. And so we just said, let's wait. After Thanksgiving and Christmas, maybe the New Year is a good time to start this. So everyone join us tomorrow from 7:30 to 9:30 with a drink.
8:30.
8:30, not 9:30, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Sorry, it's not gonna
We've never
happen. 7:30 to 8:30.
Guys, that is my bedtime. I'm
Same.
telling you. These people want to have the
Bring
latest
your
meetings.
jammies, wear your jammies,
Oh, I will.
do it, and then we'll see you tomorrow so we can tag team this project because it's a big thing.
Where is it? Raise? What is the
Yeah.
Raise Craze? I don't
Virtual.
understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the meeting tomorrow is
I'm used to
virtual.
it, so just.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a new fundraiser to our school. We've not done this before. In the past, the PTO has coordinated a fundraiser through a system called Pledge Star, which basically was a similar idea. Go out and ask your family and friends to make a donation to the school, and then there were prize levels, and in the end, the grand prize for all the kids was doing this fun obstacle course out in the primary front yard area. That was during, I think it was in September or October, so nicer
October.
weather.
Right? It was cold
Well,
sometimes.
generally nicer, not in the snow. And so this idea with the Raise Craze, we looked into as an alternative. And the idea is it's tied to acts of kindness. So we're going to be working on developing acts of kindness that classes can do. Maybe as teachers can kind of build some kindness-related activities into curriculum loosely, things you can do at home with your family, things you can do in the community, things with your scout troop. It can be all encompassing. And again, the idea is just spreading the love around work. That's what we're trying to do. Like, not only the students, but grown-ups too. We can all be nicer, right? So this is the goal
So
of,
you're still asking family members for donations, essentially to pledge, so I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z.
right,
Okay.
yep. So the
Got it.
money comes in just by the ask of family and friends. Please help us. We're doing acts of kindness. Give us X, I don't know if people are gonna ask for specific amounts or just whatever you wanna ask.
And are we still intending to try to launch this before the end of the year, like when the holidays come?
No, it'll be next year after the school year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
after the
After
new year.
January. Okay, yeah.
I think
Virtual link.
Got it.
Is there a link?
Okay.
There's no,
Yeah,
so
there
there's
will-
nothing, there's nothing yet. I mean, you can definitely look up Raise Craze on your own and.
Sorry, did we talk about the meeting?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we can send them.
We'll send out a link.
Yeah, I can get your email address and I can send it to you after that.
But the fundraiser itself is, money is collected online. So each student will get their own link and kind of a website page that then they can communicate out to family and friends and collect donations that way.
I think one thing that I really like about this fundraiser is so many fundraisers, incentives are driven off of activities. Well, this we can actually drive the incentives off of acts of kindness. Okay, like I did X amount of acts of kindness, or I did mine first, so that
So-
we can drive incentives off of that. And so it's not all about raising money and who raises the
Yeah, who
most.
knows the most people with money versus.
Yeah, so you don't have to raise any money, but you can still get incentives from.
And then this company only takes 10% of everything. They cap it at all like credit card fees and all that kind of stuff. They're gonna take 10% at a maximum.
So
Yeah, they guarantee that you
90%
get
will
90%.
come towards.
Whereas other companies take 15 to 20%. So that's a lot of money.
A lot of us are on like the Facebook page for Raise Craze, where it's people who want to get ideas on how to make it function properly or to the best of your ability. And we just saw a school today that raised $95,000 doing
Yep.
this program. Now, we don't know the size of that school, but
No.
there's a goal for us. So
So something that I did
it
learn
can be
today,
done.
There you go. And that wasn't their first time either.
that wasn't their, it was their ninth
Yeah.
time.
So,
Something that I did learn today though that I thought was interesting, was they do have some stats on like what you earn per person sign up. So it's usually $140 per person sign up, if that makes sense. So if we had, 700 kids and you multiply by, that's just an average. That's their average.
They registered and emailed out, like,
Yeah.
the average was 140.
And it was just, if you had registered and sent one email, the average was 140. So, I mean, looking at that, it would be set to raise a fair amount as long as we can get the kids interested and involved. And it's gonna be a lot of getting the parents to understand, because if you're older kids, they can make their own online page, but anyone 13 and younger has to have a parent make the online page. So, we'll have a lot of info, I think, tomorrow to share about it too. And I have links and things like that, in regards to this specifically that we can share in that meeting as well.
But overall, it's going to be a group effort of brainstorming ideas, of making sure we're communicating out to all the parents, to get the kids involved, to get the parents excited, and helping them understand exactly what this is, because this is new to us. So, thank you for helping us.
Okay, Culver's Night was pretty wildly successful. If you were there, you probably couldn't find a place to sit. They literally ran out of chairs. They don't have any more chairs than what we used that night. They also ran out of buns at one point.
That's crazy.
Ashley and Luke were both serving stuff, and yeah, you guys got to experience the shortage of buns
Yes.
and the chaos that ensued from that.
Yes.
But it was really cool because one of our staff members, I don't know how you say her last name, Lindsay,
Mrs. B.
Mrs. B, Lindsay, Mrs. B.
Lindsay B.
She was the Merchant Mustang, and she wore the costume into Culver's, and it was so busy, she had to park very far away, and she was a little late, because she was like, they're showing their house, and they got like a last minute showing, and she was like, so she quickly cleaned up the house as a Merton Mustang. But then she walked in, and it was awesome because Culver's and Heartland brought Scoopy out at the same exact time that she walked in. Scoopy was walking out from the back, so it was like the two mascots just met. It was good, and the kids loved it. A bunch of the kids wore costumes. So many kids were all over the two mascots. I mean, it was. Yeah, I did feel a little bad for them, but I did touch base with both places, with Lindsay and Culver's afterwards, and they also loved it. Culver's was like, that was so cool. Like, we never bring Scoopy out, but we had to do it because you guys had the Merton Mustang. And Lindsay said she didn't mind everyone pulling the tail and poking the eyes and all of that stuff. So it turned out really good. And it was even like a rainy, bad night too. So it was super fun. We did raise $518 that night. Our next Culver's night is November 15th, so we do have them scheduled through December. If you ask Culver's, they're just on the schedule forever. He's like, I'm just never taking you guys off. So I guess that's fine with me for now. Anyway, so mark November 15th down. We don't have any.
Busy night. It's also soup with the soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
Okay.
What kind of soup are you serving?
Just heard it's gonna be chicken noodle and broccoli cheese, salad, breadsticks, cookies.
I think I have to sign up for that.
If you'd like, we would love people to sign up so we know how much soup to prepare for. That would be great.
Yeah, till Friday.
Till Friday, yeah, we'll push it out again tomorrow as well. So again, I apologize for
You should get Culver's to like cater. No, I'm just kidding.
that. They have soup.
They
have soup.
Remind me to, you know. Anyway, yeah, we did chat about it being on the same page,
Yeah.
and I told Ron the kids started away because, at least for me, my kids are like, tonight's Culver's night, like they know, or they're drilling me. Is it tonight Culver's night? Is tomorrow Culver's night?
Yeah, every night.
I'm gonna take a look at the sign.
I will not be,
We did look at the sign. They thought the soup was pizza first, and they were like, "It's a pizza night." And I'm like, "No, that's soup." Okay. Anyways, back to business here. Really exciting news. The book fair. We just ended the book fair. Well, we didn't end the book fair just yet. The in-person book fair ended on November 2nd, after the close of conferences. That was a super busy week for everyone. The online portion of the book fair is still open. It does end November 12th. We want to thank Trisha Wilson. She handled the book fair, her and the volunteers that she had working for her. They were super efficient, like no issues, at least that I've heard of. I mean, it was like
it was a madhouse that they did it.
It was amazing. They got it set up. I walked in the next hour. All that stuff came one day when I was there, and then I said, "Are you gonna need help setting this?" I got it. We got it. And then the next time I walked into school, it was all set up. Amazing. It worked out even in the tight space. And we just got news tonight that, well, according to Trisha, this has been the highest earning book fair ever for her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Should I? Yeah.
You wanna say it?
I don't know. Ooh, all right. Okay, so drum roll. The total gross sales was $16,435. Yeah. There are also some minimal online sales still going on. So there's people that are like using up their e-gift cards and things like that. So there will probably be additional money added to that. What that means for us is right now, which this could change too, so this isn't like final numbers, I just want to point that out, but the cash profit for the PTO right now would be $3,488.79. So that's great.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Crystal, can you have Trisha send me a little blurb and I'll include that in my update tomorrow?
Yep.
Just to say, hey, just a reminder, the book fair is still continuing, online sales through November 12th. Here is the link. And I can kick that out.
That's all that I have for fundraising right now. That's just amazing with the book fair. That was great news to get tonight, right before this. And I think we're gonna plan another book fair, but we are obviously gonna wait. I don't even think the book fair has left. Did it leave
No,
the
it's
building
still
yet? Okay. So it hasn't left the building yet, so we're gonna, pause a little bit before we make any book fair announcements. All right, staff support committee, Kristen.
Yes, so a couple of things that we did over the past month or so. We provided 2 meals to each school during parent-teacher conferences. That was something that was brand new to me, brand new to everybody that helped out with it this year, so it was a big learning curve for us. But I think it was very successful. We got some good feedback. We had lots of food left over, so not having enough food is not an issue. And we had quite a few people helping out with cleanup and setup and stuff, which was nice. We also did a snack for the staff. Some of you may have seen the beautiful pictures online, the little snack boxes, like charcuterie kind of things, that a parent, or a couple of parents actually, put together for the staff. So those are the 2 things that we kind of wrapped up over the past month. And then we've got a number of things in the works or coming up. Volunteers for recess, we are continuing to post for those volunteers to help out. And over the winter, it sounds like they'll appreciate some extra help with getting snow gear on and off some of the younger kids. So it may be indoor, maybe outdoor, just depending on what's going on that day. Something that we're going to be hopefully have up and running this week by the end of the week is called stocking the staff lounges. So what we're going to do is place donation bins by each office in both schools, and we will have them available throughout the school year if parents want to donate snacks or beverages or anything like that to put in the staff lounges. We'll put out a communication about it a couple of times a year and just leave them out there so you can drop it off at any time. We also have a copy team that is in the works that we hope to have up and running soon. Sarah Sika is chairing that project. And she's actually done this at another school that her kids attended, so she's a great person to take the lead on this. We're going to have a process where teachers can just submit whatever they need copied for the week by a certain day, and we've got about 4-ish volunteers that are willing to come in on a regular basis and to make those copies to free up some time for the teachers. Thanksgiving pies, Crystal mentioned that earlier, or Brooke, I guess I'm not sure now. But anyways, we're going to do Thanksgiving pies for all of the staff members at both schools again this year. It's something that they've done in the past. They are all apple pies. And the feedback that we got from previous years is that this is a big hit. So it's a larger expense considering the funds that we have available right now, but it is something that we wanted to continue to be able to provide that if it's something that people appreciated. We also have some like little mini bundt cake coupons that we have got from Nothing Bundt Cakes, and so we'll hand those out to the staff with the pies as well. That will be the Tuesday before Thanksgiving that will take place. The last thing I have on here is wrapping paper giveaway. The PTO inherited a bunch of wrapping paper from the previous PTO, like a crazy amount that's sitting in Crystal's basement right now. And so we are going to just put it in the staff lounges next week, and it's going to be a free for all. So they can come grab wrapping paper. It's all holiday theme, bows, whatever. If there's anything left by, I think, the week before Thanksgiving, then we'll just donate whatever's left.
Oh, and I did find a place to donate whatever is left. There is a senior living facility. I want to say it's in Pewaukee or Sussex. I was just talking with Shell Cook, who helps with the food drive, and she was there for some reason or another and said they were actually looking for paper to
Oh,
do
perfect.
some projects. So I was like, hey, whatever's left, she said she could pick it up and take it. So. Is it Christmas? Maybe. That's what I thought at first too, was to ask you guys, but, so anyways, it will be out of my basement, which is the biggest plus.
Yeah, so that should be the 21st.
It is, I was just
I was-
realizing my error
yeah,
there.
that's okay.
It goes through the 21st.
The wrapping paper giveaway, so I'm
Correct.
bringing the wrapping paper on the 13th to the.
And you saw that I got the graphic?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, so we'll get some signs printed out. The admins at both schools said they'd send out a communication to staff Monday morning. So
Hopefully
they
most of
know.
it goes, I mean, it's
what
a
it's
lot
there
of really
It'll go.
nice stuff, yeah, and it's like, some is used, but like, there's a ton of brand new stuff, and there's bags and boxes and, so, I think it'll work.
It'll go.
I don't see why it wouldn't,
Yeah.
because, you know, I was just looking at wrapping paper the other day, and I think it was like $5 to $10 for a roll of wrapping paper. So, yeah. No.
Oh.
I didn't think about
For wrapping presents for the little. But Kristen, thank you very
that. Well,
much
she can grab
for all
some
of that. That leadership
Yeah,
there.
we'll
It's very much appreciated by the staff.
Thank
They
you.
are-
Yeah, the staff is great to
Thank
work
you.
with. They
Thank you very much.
They are so appreciative of everything that we're doing.
Yes.
So thank you to everybody that volunteered time, food, paper products, whatever it was. It was definitely a group effort that was appreciated.
Today we walked into popcorn, brownies,
Oh, yeah.
little sugary candy. I mean, it's all of that is great. I mean, it's very much appreciated. Thank you very much for that.
Oh, you
yeah.
can take notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I did want to say a funny thing about the brownies and the candy today. I was opening the brownies, and I said, "Oh, do you think that we need both of these open?" And Michelle at the primary school said, "Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
both of those need to be open." Okay, don't mess with the brownies. Okay, so, well, Ashley, your election bylaws, you voted in the bylaws, is there anything that you?
My report is.
Predicted the future.
Yeah, predicted. That we did I always say we, because anyway. But I worked on the revisions to the bylaws for those last minute changes. I feel like it's kind of nice, even though I wasn't here last time, I was fishing for a work thing that went too late. It was kind of a nice dry run of it, because then they were kind of half operational, and it allowed us a little bit more feedback, because in drafting, like, you try to think of everything.
Yeah.
But you can't, it's almost impossible to think of everything. So I tried to put everything but the kitchen sink in these bylaws to prevent any ambiguity. And so I'm glad that they were voted in tonight, and now we have them as our basis for operations, so.
And I keep pushing to everybody that they are very riveting, so everyone,
Like, I'm super excited about that.
they're, I don't know how many pages long, 13? Probably not, I don't know, how long are the school board bylaws?
School board bylaws, our policies,
I mean,
800 series.
yeah, there's series of them.
There's series of them, yeah.
Right.
We got categories.
We'll get there,
See,
guys.
so it's not bad. And I don't try to write anything dense, because I draft contracts on the commercial space, so like people need to be able to read them.
It was so
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Thank you. Really, really thank you. Like, that was amazing.
Yes.
It's a big project.
I enjoyed it.
You
I
did.
did, I
Oh my
Every
gosh.
time I'm treated, it was like,
Wow.
yeah, I know.
Okay, I have
That's what I
another
get.
project for you. We should talk
I know, I'm like,
Policies.
wait a second, let me just check.
Right. Oh, yes, in many ways, all the time. All right, well, that is all I have, and there's not anything on the election side, obviously, to talk about this time, so.
Alright, Brian,
Yep, so we talked about trying to get feedback from events in the past, through Mustang and Moms in particular. As Kristen was talking though, we want to get feedback from the teachers about meals and stuff, or have you done that?
The
This is-
feedback that we got was they don't want more surveys.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought that too.
Other than like the ones that I talked to in person, I guess, I'm not sure how else we would go about that.
Okay.
Other than talking to like our staff liaisons, or our teacher liaisons, we could do that too.
Whatever
think
you
we'll
do
just
is
stick with
appreciated.
Okay, that's
And the more food, that there's always tomorrow's lunch, which is greatly appreciated after people are there late. So,
Well, Crystal had an idea to have to-go boxes, so we provided those this time. And she said that they're just about gone, so that's awesome. Like, I was shocked to hear it, but it's great that they're taking the food and the boxes are being used.
Yeah, so we just have a.
right, yeah, and speaking of to-go boxes and things like that, one of the things, talk about feedback or something, one thing that I know some other schools done, that's been done here in the past, to-go dinners
Yes.
were something that was so greatly appreciated. I mean, everything is, those pies, great too.
Oh, yeah, I
Everything.
think the pies was really funny too, because we had a committee meeting, the staff appreciation committee meeting, and we were like, yeah, we wanna do the pies, and then we had a meeting to say we were gonna do the pies, right? The next day I walked into school and I swear 3 people asked me, hey, people wanna know if you guys are gonna do the pies. And I was like, there's some like radar about yeah, I was surprised that those things were gone too. But yes, back to your point, Brian, I think that we should definitely, hold off on any surveys to the staff.
Fair enough. So these two are gonna go out to everyone that participated in the month.
Yep.
Or participated in Blue Mustang. And just on Facebook and asking people, even if they didn't participate, why didn't you participate? You know, that feedback is also good. So I made them, I haven't sent them out yet. But there is a template for anyone in this group here. If you go in Drive and go to Forms, there's an arrow, you create a form from the templates. There's a template for feedback. So all these feedback.
Wait, you made that?
Yes.
Wow. Thank you.
Sure. So all the feedback ones will look the same. And so we can create that as a space.
Nice.
So then I also created a doc for questions to ask during Skyward registration. So I asked Ron about creating a directory. So someone on Facebook said, we had this directory that was printed. I want one that's this year. So I asked the school if they had the data, and basically came back with, we didn't get permission.
We have to get permission to share any directory information.
Even though it's on Skyward. So,
Well, but
But,
that's
you know-
Skyward, you don't get to see. You don't, that side of Skyward. We have all the data, obviously, and it's
Yeah.
a very easy pull for us. But for us to share any personal or directory data, we have to get permission.
One question
But
on that,
that's-
like when we log into Skyward,
Yeah.
I can go search those that have opted in, or I guess not opted out, and I can search like contact information.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all the students.
Oh,
Yes, and there's plenty of people that have opted out, so I'm like, I know these children.
oh, so we've already asked for it.
Yes.
Yes.
So maybe it could
Okay.
be like reduced to writing for those that have not opted out.
So people still want the book.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
they
did
do.
seal on it.
Yeah.
They still love the book.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
I think at this point, it might be
But-
too late. to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, let's start thinking
Right.
about that next year because it is, there's it's significant, there's some time there because you have to pull it and you make it look readable and pretty and stuff like that too. So,
So we have a couple questions we want to ask during registration. And so I made it a doc. Anyone here can put those questions on. And sometime in the spring, we'll put those, figure out how to get them from
I thought I was the only person who had access to that.
Nope.
But Brian, that would be something to talk to us probably at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, June, because we finalize all of our registration at the beginning of August. So,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, quarter report. So we want to make a report that summarizes the year so far. That's pretty much the gist of it. And Kristen, I was kind of thinking you might be the person to do it.
I was writing the blurbs since our last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very wordy, but if someone would help me fill in as I have the blurbs started, and then we can tabulate that as our quarterly report,
Sure.
and then ta-da, it's there. So
Yeah, definitely can be a group
I can
effort, yeah.
tentatively like be the person to kind of help with that, like not knowing what I'm signing up for, but if you just need help like putting these thoughts together.
yeah, I think a lot in bullet points, and that doesn't usually turn out really well on a web page. So if someone wants to help me make it,
I like bullet points.
I remember you.
I like
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's, really, it doesn't matter how it looks, it's just Katie's not allowed to have any part of this.
That's right.
I'm known to be wordy, right?
I love the 35 pages. I remember what that was, but I was like.
Did you like my email?
Don't let Katie type anything.
I tried to be nice, but I was like, I don't know what it's gonna be.
Yes, you will, because it's so compelling.
No, I didn't even read it, and I'm the PTO president, so like,
It wasn't even that long of a paragraph.
No, I read the paragraph,
Oh my
Yeah,
but
it
I
was-
clicked and opened the thing, and I was like,
Okay, fine.
Yep. Long
what is
gone.
my job? 2 pages
A
long.
big thank you to, I don't know if it's I get the graphics from you, Kate, so
Yes.
thank you for supplying those to me.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
That's our graphic designer, Jessica Clark, is usually the one behind the
Okay,
scenes.
yeah, okay.
Putting together the graphics for us. So it's a team effort so that, we're trying to disperse the workload. We have so many things where people can help and so many talented people here at school that it's like, it doesn't need to be just a few people managing it all, so. Plus, who's got time for
I
that?
appreciate the graphic,
Yeah.
that too, and please don't forget that, I don't know, our principals, myself, we can send out fairly regular things and just highlight what it is, and all we would need is just, hey, can you please share this out? Right? Or a link to even more information, the quarterly report, or whatever it might be. Certainly will push that.
Yeah, I think that the idea behind it is just to make sure that people that aren't at the meeting or maybe aren't seeing stuff on Facebook are still getting the info somehow, so you guys emailing it out.
And our number one, on our survey, on our family survey, where we had just under 400 families, survey back to us, number one is still email. Email, newsletters, and classroom updates. It's the number one way they want to get their information, and that they do. So.
I think like it's a lot on a Friday when you get like both the Friday flyer or you get like the s'mores, and I get 3 different things from 3 different.
Well, you got till
lists.
Monday to read.
Oh, it is like,
It's a lot. It can
it's
be
so much
overwhelming.
coming in, and I'm like, okay. But it's still nice because then you can refer back to it, so it's, but I can see how some parents would miss, you could easily miss something if it's, like we noticed some, well, I think Brian might notice
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Yeah,
Even,
well, yeah, because Jessica didn't do the graphic in time, so the date for the place of the covers was not there. The time, just the date was there, but that was like not helpful.
even though I was like, Brian, this is so nice.
Yeah.
And then his wife was like, you forgot.
I'm driving here, I forgot to send her the information for this.
I'm just happy we figured out the correct size of everything. I was going, I think that was you and I going back and
Yeah,
forth.
right.
Didn't look right. Do this one. Okay.
Hey, some of us are perfectionists and we want to fairly and properly represent the PTO so that everything is legible on that silly digital side.
It looked nice on it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it does.
Now we figured it out and you get
Took
one
a few
email.
shots. Yeah.
It's like 6 emails
Yeah.
and he's like, knock it off.
And I'm like, for the,
Trust me.
is it for the golfers? Because every time that pops up, I'm like,
There was
She
one
got
that
caught.
was really bad.
It just took a long time.
But it's good now, and now we've kind of standardized it, and I've written kind of a template of like, okay, this is the size font that you can use, and don't use a scripty font, and like there's a,
right.
yeah, of
Yeah.
Oh
course.
my gosh.
Why wouldn't you?
so you get her 5 emails.
Hey, knock it off back there.
Just the peanut gallery, it's fine.
It's not in bullet point
In
format.
case I a bus, that's what I was trying to
It's not
say.
in bullet points and
It's
everything.
easy to laugh, but actually it will be used.
Read that yourself.
It's true.
Alright,
Yeah, so we
Brian,
definitely have that.
are you?
I'm done, yes.
Okay. Good, so are there any questions from anyone? I mean,
open forum.
In terms of the fundraisers, on your website, do you guys have all the fundraisers you typically do throughout the year? I'm just interested in what we do. You know, I talk to my siblings and others in other school districts, and I'm like, well, we don't do that. I'd love, that would be so helpful, or, you know, just understanding what we
Why don't we
actually
just some of that information in?
Yeah.
do.
Well, we're open to suggestion always.
Okay.
This PTO here, we're starting from scratch. So what has been done in the past, we are pulling some forward, but we're also trying new things. And so like the Raise Grace being a new, that's gonna be the new primary fundraiser this year. Join the fundraising committee. In fact, we're looking for a
Thursday
fundraising
night
chair.
is like date night, it's the only night.
No, that's just the Raise Grace.
Okay.
You, going
Okay.
forward, you could set it whenever you want. But we're looking for that input, even if you're not on the committee or not on, you wanting to be the chairperson. We're trying to facilitate this conversation, so bring those ideas that your you know, other schools in the area are doing. That's what we're looking for, ideas on how to. Anything
that's
that-
out there,
Yeah.
like, my sister, she works in the, or she's in the Chicago area, but they can pay their PTO to buy all their kids' supplies.
Yes.
And it's there in a bag at their desk when they come to orientation. And it's all the standard stuff. I mean, it would take a lot of people to organize
There's
it,
options
right?
to do
But,
that.
like,
There's organizations that do that,
yeah,
where
okay.
you just, it's set dollar amount and
I would
it comes
pay
to your
money for
house.
that.
It comes to your house. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, or, they just
We did that a few years, we
collect
did that a few times.
extra Halloween candy. You know, how much candy did you throw away? Like collect it instead and see if some dentist office will buy it or donate it to troops.
Yeah.
And just
So-
things like that.
With like that idea, and even like the food drive that's going on right now, I've been talking with those ladies a lot too. So if we're obviously running Raise Craze
Yeah.
back end of this school year, but I think our hope would be that we would be running a larger fundraiser in fall, because that's when you're gonna get, you know, that's when school starts, that's when people are sort of expecting to be donating to schools. You're not in the back end where it's like we just paid for Christmas and property taxes and New Year's and everything else, and then, you know, people aren't ready for that, like to spend more money.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, or even in spring too, I mean, you know, because a lot of people get their merit increases and bonuses about March, April.
Yeah.
It's also a good time.
But but for like things like the candy and like the food drive, all that kind of stuff could fit into like that, into Raise Craze specifically, like it would be an act of kindness, like you're donating your Halloween candy to troops,
Yeah.
or you're bringing in food for the food drive to help the community. You know, all of those things are kind of, even like the giving trees, all that stuff. It would be easy stuff to fit into
This
that.
time of year, it fits perfectly.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly.
So it'll be so if we do it again, it would be different because might be a little bit easier to figure out the activities. But we'll see.
But to answer your question, historically, in the past, the PTO would have a fall fundraiser and then some bigger fundraiser in the spring as well.
Got it.
So that is the direction we are hoping to head. It's just this year, since we kind of just got started and getting all of our ducks in a row, like organizationally, we just didn't have time to do the fall fundraiser, which would be the Raise Craze. So hopefully we'll have success with it. We'll be able to implement it again in the fall for next year. But that being said, there's still opportunity to do like a different spring fundraiser, which in the past has been like a trivia night or like a gala night for parents to have kind of a date night thing, go away from your children, have dinner, an auction, that kind of thing. So that could still happen. It's just right now we've kind of paused on planning for the future quite until we figure out about Raise Craze. But ideas there are welcome. And somebody to lead it. Great.
Yeah, somebody to lead it,
Who wants
yes.
to be the leader?
Right.
Any other questions?
All right. Okay, Okay, so our next meeting, just again to reiterate, is not Wednesday, it will be Thursday, December 14th, barring any snowstorms or anything. Still here, still at 6 p.m. And if anything changes, we will let you guys know. Otherwise, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
We made it, guys. That was just over an hour.
Oh, this is so much better than I thought it would be.
Hey!